Hi friends, it's Doreen and today I'm going to do some meal prep. I'm going to make some fried chicken today. So I want to start, it's in the morning, so I want to start with getting some seasoning together. Let me stay in the picture. Seasonings together. I'm going to marinate it in some buttermilk. And so later it'll be nice and tender and tasty for our dredging. So I'm going to add some seasoning to my buttermilk mixture. Now I've got in this little bowl, I've got about 1 teaspoon of ground mustard, 1 teaspoon of black pepper. I've got a teaspoon of salt here. I've got about a quarter teaspoon of onion powder, quarter teaspoon of garlic powder, and a quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now, don't worry about that cayenne pepper. It is not going to give this any heat, but it is going to give it a whole lot of flavor. So I mix that up nicely, and I'm going to take about a cup of buttermilk, but I'm going to go ahead and throw, you know what? Let's put our, let me wash my hands before I touch that. For that buttermilk marinade, let's take about a cup of, I probably should have shook that up a little bit, because it usually is a lot thicker than that. All right, let's start out with 1 cup. I think I had about 7 pieces of chicken I'm going to marinate here. Oh, you know why? This isn't thicker, it's low fat. I didn't even realize that. I must have not had my glasses on. I will not usually pick the low fat, but it's what I have today. So let's put our chicken pieces in here. Wash our hands again. All right, and then I'm gonna take my seasoning, just dump it in here. Fried chicken is like one of those great, delicious comfort food, and I don't make it too often. Well, first of all, fried foods, right? Have to have those in moderation. But it is a lot of work, but the rewards are oh so sweet. So I probably make it once or twice a year. And my kids and my grandkids love it. Ooh, I made a little bit of a mess there. Let's get some paper towels. And basically, that's it for marinating it. Just does its work. Let's see. And I just smush it around a little bit so get every piece coated. And I'm going to set that in a bowl just in case. I mean, it shouldn't leak out, but people go in the fridge and move things around. You don't want it to tip over and get all inside your fridge. So live and learn. I'm going to put it in a bowl, the bag. And every like half an hour or so, I'll mush it around a little bit. You don't have to do it. You can set it like this. It's best if you let it marinate for at least 2 hours, and you can do it up to 8 hours. So that's going to go in the fridge, and we'll see you later when we're frying. Come fry with me. Hi friends, we had our chicken marinating in our buttermilk, and now I'm going to get a flour mixture for dredging the chicken in. I'm going to put like 2 teaspoons of salt in here. There's about 2 full cups, two and a half cups of flour. And if you need more, you can always add a little more. I've got about a teaspoon, a good teaspoonful of black pepper, about a quarter teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, and we will put a little thyme in here. Let's do about 1.5 teaspoons. Then we're going to put a pinch of cayenne. Really, this is not going to even make it hot at all. Probably like 1/4 teaspoon. This gives you a depth of flavor in that coating. And I think I'm going to put a little paprika, smoked paprika. I'm doing about 1/2 teaspoon of that. We're going to whisk that through. Now, some people will coat it and let it sit in the fridge for ½ an hour. You can do that. I don't have time today for that, so I'm going to skip that step. And hopefully it'll still be pretty crusty. Oh, which reminded me, I totally almost forgot. Got to put a little bit of baking soda in there because that will help make it crispy. And we're going to do about 1/2 teaspoon in this. 1, 2, that's 2 1/4 teaspoons, which is 1/2 teaspoon. Definitely mix that through good. In a lot of years when I've made fried chicken, I have just used this salt and pepper in my flour, and that's really good too. All right, let's see. Let's put a pinch in here and see if we're quite ready. Not quite ready there. Well, let me clean up the counter a little bit while I'm waiting for that. I have probably not quite 1/2. Well, that's a little more, definitely over 1/4. 2/3? No. Of coconut oil that I put in here. You can use vegetable oil. I've done that for years. But this I'm using is coconut oil. Now I'm going to put these seasonings away while I don't get any of the raw chicken splattered on there. You don't want to see my spices in here. It's out of control. I do have a nice little container. Maybe someday I'll show you. I have a little container I keep all my spices in, but I always seem to have more spices than I have space. Alright. Let's see. Let's take one piece. So we're going to see if I can get a little closer here. I want to show you everything. That's not good. Let's do it like this. Sorry for moving you around. All right, let's see. You can see what I've got here. No, I think you can see better here. And this did soak up some of my buttermilk. I feel like I need a little bit more in there. Now, because this has been soaking overnight, so this is definitely got the flavor of the buttermilk and the tenderization and the seasoning. So this is just a little extra coating to all right. I'm gonna let it drip a little bit so I'm not getting all that, a big glop of wetness in there. And I'm gonna take some of my flour, and what I do is I just move it down. So I've got a higher amount on one side and a lower amount, and then I just take that higher amount and flop it over on the chicken. And try to get in all the little nooks and crannies. Let's see if we're ready. Oh, I should hear that little sizzle. So I'll put it on a plate. I'll get this breaded up. Let me get a big plate. And by the time we get this coated, this oil should be ready. I feel like I'm blocking that. I want to shake off some excess on there. How much you can see what I'm doing here. Maybe if I put it like that, yeah. Let it drip a little bit. Remember, make it lower on the one side. You want a little bit on the bottom, and then just toss your flour over the top. And just shake it a little bit. Let's get a couple drumsticks going. We used to make this more when my kids were little and they were home. Shake it off. Homemade fried chicken is one of my favorite things. Fried chicken in general, just love it. My husband and I were talking about, remember some of the olden shows like from the 60s or the 50s? They always went on a picnic lunch with cold fried chicken. Like, do you see people doing that? No, we buy it from the store now or buy it from the fast food place. It does taste really awesome too at home. I mean, there are certain places I favor. I like me some crunchy chicken, but we used to live in Texas and there was quite a few places of excellent fried chicken. There was one place called Babe's that was an eat-in restaurant, and you would order it family style, and you get like a big platter of chicken, and you would have different sides with it. And so it wasn't like if you have one meal that you order, you get like the plate full of food, and if you didn't finish it, you have your leftovers. Well, their leftovers, it's not the same because it's pretty much like all you can eat on the sides and such, but they didn't have like to-go boxes. So if you had leftover chicken or something from your platter, you would put it in this bag. And we would tease around going, oh, we've got leftover mashed potatoes. Could we have a bag? We used to tease around. That's kind of like, you don't really want to bring home leftover mashed potatoes. But anyways, it was family style. And I think they had like Texas style green beans. So if you never had Texas style green beans, let me tell you, it's green beans with some bacon fat in there. I think a little bit of beef stock. They're pretty good. How healthy they are for you, well, that's another That's another question. That's another story. I mean, so, but yeah, they had these really delicious biscuits also there. And they would have just this great butter and molasses and honey you could put on your hot biscuits that they brought. And let me tell you, they were something else, those biscuits. I definitely don't even think I've ever made that good of homemade biscuits. Well, not that I really even try that much on homemade biscuits, because you know what? There's some things you go, I don't think I'm that good at, so I'm not going to even try. But I'm cleaning up, hoping that this oil's ready. Let's give it a try. Make sure your hands are good and dry. You don't want any water splat in there because you'll have a big splatter. I think I need to turn my heat up because it is not quite. Yeah, I think we're all right. I'm gonna do 2 pieces, I think. Maybe 3. I can do 3. Yeah, I can get away with 3. See if I can get my camera a little closer. You can kind of see what it is. And you don't want to overcrowd your chicken. And we'll set our timer for about 8 minutes. Might take 8 or 9 minutes. But we'll keep an eye on it, and we might have to adjust the heat a little bit. So we'll come back when it's a little bit further along. All right, I've had this in about 6 minutes, and I'm going to give it a turn. I think I might turn it over now. Well, let me get this open. And you want to be gentle with it so you're not ripping off your coating. Yeah, that's pretty good. It probably could have even been 7 minutes if you can take a look at it. All right, so we're gonna set this aside. Let this go for another 6 minutes. I did turn the heat down. I have it on medium. I cranked it up to medium high a little bit to get it going, and I have it turned it down to medium about a minute into cooking. So I'm gonna reset my timer. I'm gonna do it for 8 minutes, but it might go a little less. We'll keep an eye on it. Oh, there's a little look at it. All right, friends, this is ready to be taken out of the pan. Now let's do our next batch. I'm gonna use a slotted spoon so I can let this drip, the excess oil drip into the pan a little bit. And as you can see, this is really nicely brown and crispy. And then I have had the oven at 300. I preheated that when I first started this whole thing so that I can put these pieces in the oven while I cook the other batch. Look at that. Doesn't that look nice? It's nice and crispy. I can probably even put this down at 250. But let's get the next batch going. I might do two and then do these because I have two left. I don't want to do one lone one. We'll do two, and then you might have to adjust the oil a little bit. Sometimes when you put the new pieces, it will cool the oil down, but this is really kind of going pretty good. So I'm going to put this to a medium low, and then I might have to adjust it. We'll see you back making up some mashed potatoes, and we'll have some green beans. And I had to mention that. Texas style green beans. See you in a few. So I got the second batch cooking. I thought I'd show you how I make my Texas style green beans. I'm just going to take a little bit of reserved bacon fat. I saved some of my bacon fat drippings for just different dishes and put it in the fridge. I'm going to take, I don't need much, just take about a teaspoon. It's a good full teaspoon. And then we're going to get that on the heat. And then I take some beef better than bouillon. We're just going to add a little bit of that. I can open up this jar. I think it's a new jar. Ooh. It's hard to open. There we go. And let's take a different spoon. And we don't need much of that. Probably like a half a teaspoon. I'm going to put it in with that bacon fat. And then melt that down a little bit. And you can take frozen green beans, or I'm going to use canned because they're going to be nice and soft and tender, and it'll absorb a lot of that. I have a whole bunch of canned green beans. I was doing this like prepping thing. It's just all the stuff that's going on in the world. They're like, I need to have a little extra in the pantry. So I did buy some canned goods because I have more space for that, and they keep a little bit longer. So we're going to use some of those because we don't want them to go to waste. Because I did have quite a few. I mean, I didn't go overboard. Of course, my husband might differ about that, but I got that melted, and we're going to put the juices from here. Just to, we won't even need all of it though, just a little bit, maybe like half of the can of juice. And we're going to set that and let that simmer for 10 minutes. We're going to have some Texas style. We can put a little sliced onion in there, but I'm not going to do that tonight. Give it a good stir. I'll have some Texas style green beans. That's what I call it. Whether it is Texas style, I don't know, country style. So this is ready to be turned over. Go so gentle. Oh yeah, that's looking good. We'll set that for another 8 minutes. All right, and we'll see you back. All right, let me serve up a plate here. Let me get some mashed potatoes. Put that aside. Get our chicken, which looks amazing. A couple pieces here on a plate. All right. And these are just about done, so I'm going to take these out. These were a little bit, took a little less time. I overcooked it just a tad, but we only had 2 pieces here, so that took it quicker. And now I'm going to put my last of my batch in there, my 2 drumsticks left, and that won't take too long. Put that on medium low. I'll put my timer on for about 5 minutes. And we'll keep our eye on that. And we gotta serve up our green beans. We have a nice plate. And that looks like a nice country dinner. Fresh, homemade. We'll come back when this final batch is done. All right, we're going to take the last of the chicken out. And then what I'm going to do is I took the chicken out of the oven. And I'm going to put a little bit of paper towels on this plate to soak up any excess oil. And what I'm going to do is put these on that other pan, and that is hot, so. Look how crispy that looks. Let me put it on the plate and then I'll show you. Let's put it on here. Then we'll put that other batch in there. And I want to set it on here so it just soaks up some of the oil. Let's put that one upside down. All right. So as you can see here, you can see all the crispiness. A lot of extra batter. Want to try it? Let me just try a little snippet. I shouldn't. I should wait because it's still pretty hot. But I'll let it cool down and then I'll do a taste. Had a little tiny snippet. That was good. We'll let it cool down. Got me some mashed potatoes, some green beans, Texas green beans, and some fried chicken. I'm just going to use my fingers for this. Here we go. You hear that crunchiness? Mmm. Oh, it's so good. It's truly crunchy and crispy. I didn't get to the meat yet. Let me try that. Mmm. Mmm. Tasty. Cooked perfect. Mmm. Only make this, like I said, once or twice a year. That is so good. Can't remember if I told you I used coconut oil. Yeah. Well, this is so yummy. I hope you give it a try. We'll see you next time. Peace out. For dinner, one of my favorites, fried chicken.